To do a quick video showing how I roast coffee beans. So I'm not an expert in this. I've been doing it for maybe a month or so. These are African, actually Tanzanian coffee beans, and these are I got about 3 different kinds, some Colombian, Costa Rican, so I haven't tried these before. These are called pea berry coffee beans. So as you can see, these are small and actually completely round. So I'm going to give them a try and see how they work. So this is pretty simple. Just got my cook stove set up outside and get that lit up. Oops. So you want to do this outside because this will smoke quite a bit. My experience is it takes about 15 minutes start to finish. Get the pan heated up a little bit, and basically you are going to sit here and stir coffee beans in a pan for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's the most technical aspect of it. Hardest part is knowing when to stop so you don't overcook them, depending on the roast that you want. Right? So let these heat up a little bit. I just use a wooden spoon. You get your coffee beans. You'll notice that they're pretty small. They do expand quite a bit when they roast. About two or 3 minutes into it, you'll start to smell it just a little bit. Now, it doesn't smell like coffee at this point. It kind of smells like grassy. They start off a green, kind of a light colored green, and they'll start to turn just a little bit yellow at this point. And actually what you want to do is listen, because you're going to hear what's called the first crack. And that's when the outer casing on the coffee beans starts to break, and you'll get a lot of chaff that starts to come off. You'll notice that if you buy roasted coffee, you'll get a little bit of chaff in the container, and that's what that is. You'll also see it just start to smoke a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's just starting to smoke a little bit. About 3 to 5 minutes into it, you'll start to get a little bit of roasting starting to occur. This is about a half a cup of beans. That's usually what I do. That little bit of beans right there, once it expands and then you grind it, that's going to last me about a week. These may be a little bit different being the pea berries, so I'll have to see how that goes. Alright, at this point we're about, I don't know, probably about 6 minutes in. It's starting to smoke pretty good. You want to keep the beans moving at this point, because you can get a really uneven roast at this point if you don't, if you just let them sit. It's a lot like popping popcorn. If you let the popcorn pop and just sit on the stove, all the stuff on the bottom that already popped is going to burn. So you need to keep it moving from this point on in. You see, this is starting to turn a light brown now, but I haven't heard any crack yet. Starting to get a little bit of crack now, so this is the first crack. That's splitting the chaff off. So I haven't roasted these coffee beans before, so I don't know if these are different than some of the larger coffee beans that I roasted, like a Colombian coffee bean. But it seems to be similar. So once this is done with the first crack, and you'll hear it crack for a little while, then it'll go quiet for a while. If you pull that off then, that's like a really light roast. And then if you continue on and get into the second crack, then that's going to be your darker roast. I'm going to let mine go a little bit longer into that roast. You can see a lot of the chaff starting to come off now. Alright, I'm starting to get into the second crack now. You see a lot more smoke coming off at this point. And this is actually where you'll see the beans start to split a little bit in the middle. So if you pull it off right at the beginning of this, you're at like a city roast, or you let it go into it a little bit, it's a city plus roast. If you let this continue on to the point where you're going to be really dark and the cracking stops, that's going to be into your full French roast. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these off now. So I'm going to let these cool off. I like to use just a big colander and let them cool off. They'll continue to roast if you don't cool them. So this is a medium dark roast. You can see that in roasting, they about double in size, and that's what I've seen with other kind of beans. These are really tiny beans, but they did still about double in size. So they say you're supposed to let these rest for like overnight, and they're the best the next day. I've tried roasting it right away, and I've tried waiting a day. But the whole point is that you wanna roast it and then brew it fresh. So they say to brew it within about a week. So I found that about a half a cup for what I drink gets me about a week's worth of coffee. So I do it on the weekend. That's it. That's about how simple it is to roast your own coffee. I'll leave a link to where I buy my green coffee beans at home, or for home roasting. Down below, there's a few places that you can get them from, but I found a pretty good deal. I can't remember the name right now, but they have some sales. So if you watch it, you can get. I think I've paid like from $3.99 to about $5.99 a pound for some different kinds. So a lot cheaper than what you can buy roasted beans for, and you can have fresh roasted coffee. All right, see ya.